Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today I have John Passalacqua on the line. He's CEO of First Phosphate Corp, and this is part of our DealFlow event series where we bring you the best of what's going on over at DealFlow Events. And today we're going to be talking about the DealFlow Discovery Conference. So, for those of you that haven't been watching this series and are new to this program, the DealFlow Discovery Conference is coming up on January 28th to 29th. That's going to be at the Borgata in Atlantic City, New Jersey. You can grab tickets at DealFlowDiscoveryConference.com. And we brought John on because he's going to be participating in the conference, and we want to know more about what's going on at First Phosphate Corp. So first thing first, John, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Adam.
All right, John. So we're going to get more into First Phosphate Corp and also the DealFlow Discovery Conference. But before we do that, we'll start this episode the way that we start them all with what we like to call our Mission Matters Minute. So, John, at Mission Matters, our aim and our goal is to amplify stories for entrepreneurs, for executives, for experts. That's what we do. John, what mission matters to you?
Our mission, Adam, that matters is basically onshoring and landing the fully vertically integrated lithium iron phosphate LFP battery supply chain for North America. That's a supply chain that includes things such as energy storage, data centers, robotics, automation, electric vehicles, smaller mobility applications. And all of those take lithium iron phosphate batteries, which, as you know, were for some time threatened to be banned. The LFP technology was from China. So we want to land that supply chain here in North America for all of us to be able to benefit from that. It's a massive industry. It's growing at leaps and bounds, and it's going to be an over, $1 trillion industry very soon.
Yeah. It's great. Love bringing mission-based individuals on the line to share why they do what they do, how they're doing it, and really what we can all learn from this as we kind of grow together. So great to have you on. So, John, first thing first, how'd you get involved in this business? Like, where'd that start for you?
Yeah, it's quite interesting, Adam. So we were looking at phosphate from the agricultural standpoint. And
Mm,
while we were there, we discovered this really pure igneous phosphate from lava rock, which is, less than 5% of the world's phosphate reserves, which everyone was saying was way too pure. And in fact, it is way too pure. And it's so way too pure that it's excellent for what's coming, which is lithium iron phosphate batteries, which require the ultimate purity in phosphate. And so from there, we quickly shifted to, a battery focus from a fertilizer focus. Now we're
mm.
100% focused on battery because of the purity of this rock that allows us to make, almost 100% purified phosphoric acid from it, which is the base for lithium iron phosphate batteries.
Mm. Man, I love a great pivot. Like, what was that like? Like leading the company first year in fertilizer, then you're like, wait a minute, we got some opportunity here. Like that sounds like a pleasant surprise to me. Like, what was that pivot like for you?
Well, Adam, it was very early. Like I think when you're early on in something, you have to be broad, but then it's really important to focus very quickly. So we were broad enough to spot the opportunity that maybe somebody else wouldn't have spotted. But then quickly, once we spotted the opportunity, we went, very quickly, very focused. And now we're focused just on that a phosphate, high purity igneous phosphate, just for lithium iron phosphate batteries. And it's a real winner because there's going to be a massive shortage. And we're one of the only companies that's got access to this rock that can make a lot of this purified phosphoric acid for batteries. So we're right at the right place at the right time. And that's
Mm.
because we did the hard work in the beginning, to go broad and then to get focused. And we've been at it for 3 years now.
Wow. So I don't want to assume that everybody understands the need for batteries and what's coming. So as you're going down and testing the thesis, then you're like, wait a minute, we got the materials we can actually fulfill or have a great spot in this market for what's happening next. What's the need in terms of battery? I don't want to assume on that one.
Look, lithium iron phosphate batteries are now about 3/4 of all the batteries produced in the world. When
Mm,
most people think batteries, they think of EVs, but it's just a very small portion. It's only 7% of LFP. LFP, lithium iron phosphate, is really battery energy storage. All the energy that's being stored from wind or solar or
mm,
hydroelectric or any other uses, wherever there's a battery, that's LFP battery. So that's large. There's these large battery parks out there that take out, like entire, like they're little cities of batteries
mhm,
that are out there. And all of that right now is mostly coming from China. Then there's, data center needs. Then there's needs for robotics, automation, onshoring, drones, smaller vehicles. Um,
Mm,
all of that right now is all coming from China. All the LFP cathode active material that goes into that, and it's a real vulnerability for North America for our energy independence.
mm. Where you said you mentioned being at this for 3 years now. So where you at? We're recording this for everybody that's watching on January 6th, 2026, just for some context. Happy New Year, right? I think we're allowed to still say it.
Thank you.
Where are you at currently with the company? And talk to me a little bit about the plans of continuing to develop this and to launch the product.
So our strategy, Adam, is for a vertically integrated strategy for LFP battery. What does that mean? It means to have all the elements, the critical minerals to make the LFP battery, and then to be
Mhm.
able to make the guts of it, which is the powder, and then to be able to make the battery itself. So
Yeah.
what you see right here on screen, this is the first LFP battery made in North America of North American critical minerals in the last 25 years, and we
Wow.
we just released this last July.
Congrats, by the way. That's a big accomplishment. Continue, but congrats. I don't want I don't want to go off that first in 25 years. It's amazing.
It's an amazing accomplishment for the company. It's an amazing accomplishment for our North American energy independence. So, there's three facets to our company. One is operating the mine. We're hoping to get the mine into production in 2029, where right now we're at almost the feasibility study stage. And then after that, we create the phosphate concentrate. And from there would be creating purified phosphoric acid. And then that is made into LFP cathode active material, which is kind of the guts that goes in here. Like if you cut this in half, you'll find a bunch of powder. And that's LFP cathode active material plus whatever's in the anode.
Hmm. What are some of the challenges that you have lying ahead to getting this integrated system going like that? You got mining, you got like distribution, you got a lot on your plate. Like, talk to me about some of the hurdles you have to overcome.
We're going to look at them. I'll be quite honest with you. The only hurdle that we see is obviously capital and financing.
Hmm.
So we've done everything to alleviate that in terms of operations, in terms of having the right resource at the right time and everything else. All the stars are aligning there. But capital formation is always the hardest for these projects.
Yeah.
So we've gone out and done something really remarkable, I believe. Over the last 3 years, we've raised $50 million, 50 million, on our own without any underwriting. And recently, in this
That's
past year,
amazing.
it's a lot of work, but sometimes you tell a story passionately and you tell it to the right people, and they understand it sometimes better. So that's what we did in the early days. Because as you know, until about 6 months ago, it was kind of a dead market in
Hmm.
terms of battery critical minerals, and it's just the latest U.S. administration that's really put the emphasis on this and relit up the whole sector. But over those last 9 months, 9 to 12 months, we've raised $30 million, and the $30 million has been raised to do this feasibility study because most
Yeah.
junior mining companies go through these feasibility studies and they don't have the full capital to fully achieve it. And that's problematic. They get stuck half the way, three-quarters of the way. But we have the
Hmm.
full capital to be able to achieve this feasibility study. We're fully capitalized, and that should be achieved by the end of 2026. That's what we're indicating to the market on a very aggressive timeline. And so, that we solved that first capital nut. And then once we've got our feasibility study and we've got our permits in hand, then it's easier. The non-dilutive capital comes in, the sort of the sovereign capital comes in, the land
Hmm.
bank capital comes in. That was the biggest challenge was capital, and I think we've resolved a good portion of that now, in that we're fully funded to get this feasibility study to the market here in the next 12 months.
Man, that's a great story. I love to hear this. Like 3 years later, the progress being made and 30 million raised in such a short amount of time. The market's speaking, right? Like ultimately and you mentioned that you're one of the only companies in North America doing this. Did I hear that right?
Look, I mean, as far as we know, Adam, we are the
Mhm.
only company in the Western world that's fully dedicated to phosphate, but only for the LFP battery supply chain. We could care
Yeah.
less about fertilizer, very few links to fertilizer. And we're just here seeing this as, a kind of a high technology product. The phosphate just goes into these. And like I said, in business, I believe focus is key. And that's our key focus. And I think that's spoken really loudly to our investor base as well. And that's why we've been able to raise this capital, because you got to remember, those who understand technology, those who understand batteries, they know that it's about LFP technology, and
Mm.
they're willing to take a bet. And then it's all about management. It's all about our process. And
Mhm.
as you said, we've been able to advance quite rapidly here, and execution is everything.
Yeah. And so, John, talk to me about we're in January 6th right now. The DealFlow Discovery Conference is coming up. Have you been to one of these before, by the way? I've been to a couple. I was even back in the day when it was called Microcap Conference. Have you been to any of these in the past?
We've been to lots of these types of conferences. We've never been
Yeah.
to the DealFlow conference per se, so quite
Yeah.
excited. Always nice to check out new audiences and new receptive investor basis. So that's what this is about, checking out a new channel. We've
Mm.
had great success, all over the United States and all over Europe. So we're just going to continue that.
That's awesome. Yeah, so that's going to be a great conference. And for everybody watching, definitely go out there. And you and your team will be out there, right? Did I catch that right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, John, if somebody's listening or watching to this and they want to follow up and they want to learn more and follow the company, the journey, is there still investment opportunity? Like how can people participate in this?
So first off, we are listed on the OTCQX market. We are under symbol FRSPF, Frank Raymond Sam Peter Frank. We're also on the trade gate in Frankfurt Bourse as KD0, King David 0, and then on the Canadian Securities Exchange as PHOS, Peter Harry Oscar Sam, Phos is in First Phosphate. Our
Mm.
website is great, www.firstphosphate.com. It's very information driven. And then I always tell people to look me up on LinkedIn personally because
Yeah.
I do comment a lot on LinkedIn. I don't comment often, but when I do, I try to make it very specific and very pertinent and usually on what's going on in the industry and the LFP
Mm.
battery industry. So you could just look me up on LinkedIn as my name, John Passalacqua.
Yeah, fantastic. And for everybody watching, just so you know, we'll put some of those links in the show notes so that you can just click on them and head right on over and check out First Phosphate Corp and also check out John's LinkedIn as well. Speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, this is a daily show each and every day. You're correct. You heard me right. Daily, each and every day, we're bringing you new content, new interviews, new insights, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way in your journey as well. So definitely hit that subscribe or follow button. We have a lot of more great interviews planned for you, and we don't want you to miss a thing. And don't forget to go check out the DealFlow Discovery Conference. You can check that out at DealFlowDiscoveryConference.com. Grab some tickets, go out there, meet John and some of the other participants. And John, thanks again for coming to the show. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, Adam. I really appreciate it. Hope to do it again.